Welcome back, my friends in conflict. Have you ever found yourself trying to mediate between two children fighting over a toy? Did you find yourself having to separate those kids in order to find a resolution? Have you ever had to deal with a similar situation in the workplace? Well, in today's video, I'm going to explore the power of shuttle diplomacy in mediation. Conflict is inevitable, and trying to resolve it can feel like a juggling act, especially when emotions run high, which is the case in many conflicts. Imagine two children arguing. One says, "They took my toy," and the other counters, "I had it first." The emotions escalate and neither child is willing to listen to the other. Both are wound up and neither of them have much experience with emotional regulation. Does the scenario sound familiar? Imagine being the parent stepping in to mediate that scenario. Not to choose sides, but to help the children work it out. While one child tells her story, the other cannot help but chime in defensively. Despite the parent's efforts, the children sometimes need to be separated by distance and privacy to de-escalate tensions. This is where shuttle diplomacy comes in. Shuttle diplomacy works by keeping the conflicting parties separate, while a mediator shuttles back and forth to communicate between them. In the kid's case, the parent might first speak to one child to understand her perspective, then move to the other to hear his side. The goal is to identify common ground without forcing a direct confrontation too soon. I have had to use shuttle diplomacy countless times in mediating divorce, conflicts, or issues in the workplace between team members, individual contributors, managers, executives, boards of directors, even labor disputes, or conflict between siblings over the care of an aging parent, or worse, the distribution of assets and possessions when that parent dies. This same technique has been used in high-stakes conflicts around the world. A recent example is the Gaza ceasefire negotiations between Israel and Hamas. Mediators, including Qatar's prime minister and foreign minister serving in a dual role, used shuttle diplomacy to bridge deep divides between these parties. The mediators shuttled between parties on separate floors of a building, exchanging messages and proposals over a number of months, while avoiding direct talks that could escalate tensions. In our analogy of the arguing children, the parent might try to remind the kids of times when they played happily together. The parent might also ask the kids how they think the toy could be shared. Similarly, in the case of the ceasefire agreement in Gaza, mediators tried to remind the parties of shared values for ending violence and living peaceably. They proposed compromises based on the values and concerns of each party. They tried to address immediate concerns like hostage releases, and in doing so they built trust incrementally. Shuttle diplomacy works because it reduces emotional triggers, and it allows time for reflection and creates space for creative solutions. The aspirational transformation of parties may not be realistic in all cases of mediated conflict. Sometimes the goal is just to mitigate the damage and stop continued escalation. When the parties have so little trust that they cannot share the same physical or virtual space without being triggered, then shuttle diplomacy can be super effective. So whether you are mediating a playground dispute or a global conflict, the key is to remember patience, empathy, and careful communication. From kids to co-workers to countries, shuttle diplomacy can be a very effective tool for helping you to collaborate. Want to learn more about effective conflict resolution? Well, like and subscribe for more tips on how to navigate challenges and to build peace, no matter the scale.